Welcome back to Fast Money. We've got a Bitcoin alert. Let's get to Kate Rooney with all the details. Hey, Kate.
Hey, Melissa. Cathie Wood's ARK Invest is joining the race to launch a Bitcoin ETF. Wood's firm submitted paperwork with the SEC this afternoon. We got that just about an hour ago. It comes a week after the regulator postponed a decision to approve a different Bitcoin ETF, which would have been the first. In total, there are now at least 8 applications in for a similar Bitcoin investment vehicle. Wood's ETF would trade under the ticker ARKB if approved, and it would track the price of Bitcoin, which is up about 5% today. It's been cut in half, though, from its high around 60,000 back in May. Wood is a well-known crypto bull. She's been buying the dip through some different Bitcoin proxies, namely Coinbase, which is in the top 10 holdings for her ARK Innovation Fund. Coinbase is listed in this prospectus as the company that would custody or essentially hold the Bitcoin for this new ETF. ARK has also gotten crypto exposure through the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And Wood has been optimistic about Gary Gensler as the SEC chair eventually approving a Bitcoin ETF, despite him calling for some more regulation of this asset class. He is a former MIT professor as well, who taught a course on blockchain. Wood's innovation ETF has also bounced back after underperforming in recent months. It's up about 16% for the month of June. Melissa, back to you.
Kate, thank you. Kate Rooney, you know, when I first read the story, I thought about Cathie Wood being able to replace her Bitcoin holdings with her own ETF eventually, which she owns ETFs in some of her ETFs, Brian Kelly, which would be not necessarily a good thing for some of the other Bitcoin holdings. But what do you make of all this news? There's a lot of news on Bitcoin.
Yeah, so there's a lot out there. First of all, remember, Cathie Wood was one of the first, in fact, I believe the first ETF manager to put Bitcoin into it when she bought the Grayscale Trust. I think it was way back in 2014 or 2015. So she has been a pioneer in this. Certainly, I think what I would make of this is a add to the long list of companies that now want to have a Bitcoin ETF. I do think we're going to get one relatively soon. Probably in the next 12 months or so would be my wild guess on whether or not we have it. But I would say if you look at what's happened in the Bitcoin market, we have had a pretty good sentiment shift here over the weekend. And this kind of just adds to that bullish sentiment shift that's going on, where you have this dynamic. There is the adoption trade, that's your bull case, and the regulatory trade, which is your bear case. And it seems as though the market is responding more towards the adoption and less towards the regulatory. And it seems as though we're getting a turn here on the market.
You've been buying a lot. You bought a lot, right? I mean, that's what you're saying. All sorts of coins, especially further out on the risk curve. Like what?
Yeah, so I mean, listen, I came into this underweight a lot of crispos, probably only about 40% long, net 40% long. But I bought a lot of Ethereum today. That seems to be doing quite well. Remember, they have an upgrade coming in the middle of July. I also bought something called Solana. That is another type of smart contract platform, which tends to be a little further out on the risk spectrum. But Bitcoin and crypto in general, more than any other asset class, is really about the sentiment shifts. And it does appear we're getting a bit of a sentiment shift because we did not respond to the negatively to the news that Binance has been banned in the UK. And we did not necessarily respond negatively to the Federal Reserve talking about Tether today and the stablecoin issues. So that to me tells me that negative sentiment is likely over when we're making that shift.
Hey, BK, it's Karen. Sorry, I can't see you in person, but I like the haircut. I like the background. Let me just ask you something. It's 3 months ago when Bitcoin was topping 60,000. The institutional case and the money from institutions was really sort of not a big part of that. So they loved it at 64,000. At 34,000, it seems not as much. Is that what you're seeing or no?
No, it's funny. So that is generally the way that Bitcoin works. Nobody wants to talk to you when it's down, and they only want to buy it when it's going up. But from my experience, what I'm seeing, the institutional adoption of this has not stopped at all. They are continuing to get into this. They continue to want to be able to offer it either in their products or to their clients. And I haven't seen a hiccup in that at all on the drop from 60 down to 30.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.